This is day 47 of researching a stock a day until I can quit my job. Today, we're looking at Intel. Adapt or die, creative destruction. These are all terms we're familiar with, and it's a bit ironic that one of the startup community's Bibles, high output management, came from a former chairman and CEO of Intel. Over the last decade, Intel has failed to innovate and most importantly execute. If you bought an Intel laptop between 2020 and 2023, you might have felt that it kept running out of battery quite quickly. That's because this is the period when AMD essentially leapfrogged Intel with their PC CPU capabilities. The trouble started in 2015, the year Intel was supposed to deliver 10nm chips. Remember, smaller is better sometimes. They had the designs but weren't able to execute on manufacturing, and it took them until 2019 to actually deliver a first limited version of it. Meanwhile, AMD was able to launch a 7nm by 2020 through TSMC's manufacturing. It wasn't until late 2023 that Intel was able to surpass AMD's 2020 chip. Intel essentially is now living and dying on the ability to remain an integrated device manufacturer. The story I just told was about CPUs, and we didn't even touch on GPUs, which are the main chips used for AI, which Intel completely missed the boat on and are desperately trying to catch up on. One of TSMC's advantages is that it doesn't design chips, it only manufactures them, which is why major companies feel comfortable sending them their designs. If you're Nvidia, do you really want to send your chips to a direct competitor like Intel to manufacture? Intel announced in 2024 that the manufacturing arm would be spun off to its own subsidiary. Two problems though. As of now, the split still hasn't happened, and it's not like the Chinese wall at banks prevents insider trading. We got news that Microsoft had signed a contract with Intel for future chip manufacturing on its 18A technology. However, we just got news yesterday that Intel is already struggling with actually executing on its 18A chip process. Revenues have been on a multi-year decline, while flipping into lost territory, throwing money at a fab business that just last week announced that 3 senior executives were set to retire. Maybe that's a good thing and fresh blood will spark things up, but generally I stay away from management chaos. If the fab business fails, you don't think about these assets at book value. Fabs are highly specialized and unique to the manufacturer, so it's not like TSMC would come in and be happy to operate them. It's too much risk for me to want to take on, especially as we just got a string of weaker economic data, and Intel is still quite heavily tied to consumer electronics demand. But I'm torn because Kramer says the stock is a sell, so it's probably a buy. This is not financial advice. Always do your own research.